All right, got to do a little minor repair. I've seen this on a couple different forums for the Mechmaxx sawmill, and it all has to do with this watering system. Adjustments for the watering system, not that great, but this little piece here that holds this tubing from the reservoir keeps breaking off, and I actually found it broken off when I was unpacking my system. But it goes right here. There's a threaded fitting, and then this is supposed to hang on to that, like so. But the first time I found it, already broken. Then the second time was self-inflicted when the sawmill got caught. The tubing got caught on the sawmill when I was sawing a log. So there's two things you need to watch out for there. But I think I found a fix. And I'm hoping it's going to be this barbed fitting, which it was just a struggle finding it. But it's a like 5/16 barbed fitting to fit this tubing that comes with the Mechmaxx system, like so. And then that will fit into the machine right over there. That's the plan. This had nothing to do with the adjustment. I'm just hoping it'll work better than it did in the past. And why it had a 90 on there, I'm not for sure yet. And I'm hoping we don't find out the hard way. But there you go. And then the other part goes up here on the reservoir, and it just plugs in there like that. That was impossible to find. So we're gonna monitor a couple of these wires. We're gonna keep an eye out on a couple of those wires and the tubing and make sure that we don't have any more issues or fatal flaws. But we gotta get that gas line tied up too. Might as well do that while we're here. But you don't need to see that. But anyway, that's the fix for the, well, that's the temporary fix for the existing watering system on your Mechmaxx sawmill. We'll have to design or come up with something better than this. All right, we're gonna give something a try here. If I can find me a block of wood. But the pith, the logs are the same diameter, but the pith on this one is really squirrely off to the side by about 3 inches versus the pith on the big end is center. So until I come up with some sort of jack solution, we're going to give this hydraulic jack, that's for my truck, see if this works. All right, right now the pith is about 8 inches. This is where we need the laser, folks. So the pith is 8 inches. And we are at 10 inches over here. So we need to go up 2 inches off this board. Does that make sense? We'll see. We are now up 2 inches. Wish I had a laser. Not too impressed with the watering system, but I sort of knew that going in to this purchase. That was the #1 complaint of any Mechmaxx sawmill owner. I also had a problem with it leaking, and it still is, around this main fitting going in the reservoir. So that's another one of those disappointments, but oh well. Need to raise this up. Definitely gotta get the Woodland Mills. Uh-oh. What are you doing?
Watching you. You were supposed to put me on video yesterday. You told me you weren't going to.
Would you sniff me out up here? I haven't even got the sawmill up and going yet, and you.
I just noticed all the fires going around.
And you want it? Choke it up. Had to give it a little choke today. Let's see if this we're about ready to lose the log. Do what?
Now can't find the roller because it's flat on the side.
I don't know. Alright, so I called in the pro, the old Woodmiser Pro. Need somebody stacking this lumber and stickering it. Alright, so now we ended up on a
I need to end up with 20.
1, I think gotta go a quarter.
Right there?
Well, where were you at? Where did you start?
Right there should be it.
See that? Look at that.
What?
Does that mean it's dull?
Huh?
Does that mean it's dull?
Was it the spray?
Yeah.
No. Do that.
Oh, really?
No, fine, this thing ought to cut quite a bit. Man your station. Oh my God.
Two and a tick.
According to your tip.
One thing that we noticed while sawing some wood is we weren't off level by much, but if you can, I don't even know if you can, if you were to get a laser on here, you might say a 16th off on the one side. The first adjustments I'm going to attempt to make are just at the feet. We should be able to, we're so close, we should be able to get that no problem. Some would say that I'd say that's right dead on. So, yes, that one's probably the worst I've seen so far. That is it. See what it does when I tighten it. No, it's right center. I don't see how this is going to be a good gauge to level anything. But man, it follows the bunks. It is right there, dead on, in between the lines. I can't get any better than that. Still well within the lines. That one's dead center in between the lines. And it's dead center in between the lines there, so. But right now, it's as level as I can make it. So what we were working on just a few minutes ago was this throttle cable right here. It when you would give it the throttle on the handle, you can see it moved ever so slightly. And I obviously can't do that right now. But we had to tighten that nut down as tight as we could get. Whenever you would engage this, you feel that? See, I don't like that. You gotta figure out what's going on there. So this is equipped with the Honda GX Twin 690. And this is the reason I bought this machine. Since I work at Honda, I wanted to support my company. Plus, I believe in Honda engines. Honda engines are the #1 manufacturer of engines in the world. Obviously, that includes large automobile engines to small power tools and that type of stuff, engines. But you got your little choke here. We're gonna give it a little choke and then start it up there. So as you can see, I just don't like, definitely got to look to see if I can find something that's more stout than this. When we had it full throttle, it was about only going that high until we adjusted the cable. We figured that out. The other issue we were having as far as the watering system, well, first this continues to leak right around this fitting that goes into the tank. So I got to take that fitting off and wrap it with some new tape or put a bunch of glue in there or something. But main came up with a barbed fitting to 3/8 male to the female. This waters your system out to the blade. So this delivers water down from the tank by gravity. And you can adjust it by that valve up there, which is not the greatest valve to adjust. And then it just drips it onto the blade out here on the front end. So pretty simple, basic. Just need to come up with a better valve system and tank, apparently, because this one just continues to drip. Two other things that I could see being a pain over a long period of time. These here, those lock your head down. There's one on each side. And every time you bring the saw back and have to make an adjustment, you gotta loosen those up, raise it or lower it, and then lock them both down. Which, that's pretty standard, I guess, in the industry for manual mills. The one thing that I'm gonna get real tired of is this cranking for up and down. And they do make a electric modification. A couple companies do. So I'm checking that out and see which one's gonna be the best for this machine as well as our channel, if you get my drift. But we're gonna get rid of this crank and go to an electric system that you just hit a button, take the sawmill up or down in minor increments, even with a digital readout. So they make it that way as well. And then that way we can add lasers for our pointing or aiming system. And then you can dial it in real fine adjustments with the electric adjuster and the laser lights. Laser. And I invited Brayton from Outdoor Adventures with Brayton over today so that he could check out the new sawmill and even try it out, because he's an old wood miser guy. Used to have a wood miser. Actually, it's on some of our earlier videos here, sawing some lumber up. But anyway, he definitely was more interested in coming over, checking out the manual mill, and then pointing out everything that I did wrong setting it up. And I think the saw is working just great. So far, I've only found those couple things. The water delivery system definitely can be a better system than what comes with this saw. And then, like I said, this crank's got to go, especially if you're making big moves. We got to get that electric power head. And like I said, I've only ran across 2 companies that make them. I think one is Woodland Mills, and then another one's Norwood, which I'm not sure if those people are the same, or maybe they're just made in the same country, I don't know. But anyway, they both have a version of that electric power head, even with a digital readout. And then Got to get those lasers. Saw those on Two Guys in a Sawmill. Those are a must-have, especially for these manual mills or any mill for that matter. But got to get some of those, and we'll be totally set up and be able to saw logs with accuracy and precision to produce the highest quality wood possible. That's my goal, just to have fun. We're not going to take this that ultra seriously, but the more I see, the more and more I start sawing, and we own a sawmill now, the deeper the rabbit hole is, folks. You can get down that hole pretty far if you're not paying attention, or if you start desiring all the bells and whistles. You might as well just bite the bullet and get a hydraulic mill. But that's not my cup of tea. But anyway, thanks for stopping by Peterson Farms of Nashville here today. Sawing with Outdoor Adventures with Brayton, and just sawing some big logs. And we got even bigger logs to come. So stay tuned for more of the sawmill on Peterson Farms of Nashville, as well as all the other stuff that we do around here. Consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you a darn thing. And if you choose, we'll push videos out to you as we create them. And at least hit that like button. We really appreciate that. God bless you all. We do these sort of things for your entertainment value, as well as our friends and family and those future generations that without these videos may never ever get to know me. So again, thanks for stopping in on the farm.